Hello, fifth grade students. Welcome to lesson 4-3, use models to multiply a decimal and a whole number. Please write down your lesson title and your I can statement. I can use models to represent multiplying a decimal and a whole number. Please pause the video, write this down, and then press play to continue. Our problem today says Mara has 4 garden plots. Each is 7/10 of an acre in area. How much area is covered by the garden plots? Use your grids to show your work. So I'm going to be using these grids later, but I'm also going to show you how I would solve this just using multiplication. Before we get that far though, we need to go through and we need to use cubes to solve. So with cubes, we need to circle the important numbers. So Mara has 4 garden plots, and each plot is 7/10 of an acre. We need to underline our question so we know what we're trying to answer. How much area is covered by the garden plots? We need to box any important words. I think we need to go ahead and box that how much area is covered. We need to go ahead and kind of evaluate and visualize. So I'm just going to put myself into this problem. I have 4 little spots in my yard that I can make into gardens, and each garden is 7/10 of an acre. And I'm trying to figure out how much area is actually covered by these garden plots. So go ahead and pause. Solve this any way you'd like. You do have the grids as part of your problem that you glued into your journal. So do some math work using any strategy that you would like to use, but also try to fill in the actual grids to show a visual representation. Once you have your solution, please press play and I'll go through a solution and show you some other possible ways to solve this. All right, well, now that you've solved the problem, I'm going to go through and I'm going to kind of walk you through the way that would work best for me. And since our unit is on multiplying decimals, I'm going to do a standard algorithm multiplication problem for multiplying a decimal and a whole number. So I'm going to set this up as 7/10 times 4. And when I multiply this, I got 7 times 4 is 28. 0 times 4 is 0. Plus 2 more, so I made a little mistake there, which happens sometimes. And normally I would erase that, but this is going to be 28, 2 up there, 2. Okay. Now I have to remember, how do I find my decimal point, where it belongs in my answer? I'm going to count over 1 decimal place from here to here, and then I will do the same in my answer. So I got 2 and 8/10. So now I want to show you what this would look like if this answer was represented on a decimal grid. Not that you're going to have decimal grids and be shading those in as you're doing decimal multiplication, but you may see an answer in a grid type form like this on an assessment. And so we want to be sure you understand what that looks like. Well, I have each plot is 7/10 of an acre, and I have 4 of those. So in this 100 grid, this is 1 whole. And each column represents a tenth. So I'd have 10/10. So that means I need to shade in 7 of these to show a garden plot. So I'm just going to draw a line down through each of those tenths, and I'm going to color in 7 of them. 5, 6, and 7. That's the area of 1 garden plot. I'm going to change the color on my pen. And then I'm going to shade in another 7/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let's change the color on our pen again. And do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So now we have 3 garden plots that are each 7/10 of an acre. And let's do our final plot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, if I counted up all of those lines that I drew, I would have, let's count them out real quick. Let me go back to my color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27, and 28. Okay, but my answer over here is 2 and 8/10. But do you see how I have 2 whole boxes that are colored in, and then I have 8 rows of this box? So this is going to be my 2 and 8/10 acres. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and take a look and see the way some other students might have solved this problem. So this is Oliver. Oliver did something very similar to what I did, except they're just showing only 3 of the whole grids instead of 4 that we had on there. And they just represented each number with a different color. Isabel did the work like we did, but there's an error here for Isabel. She has a decimal error. Her decimal point should only be right here. And then whenever she was filling these in, it's inaccurate as well. At this time, please summarize your thinking in your journal and then be ready to share that in class tomorrow. Thank you.